Thanks for hanging out with us on this rather nice Friday. A tiny chance of rain in the forecast for this afternoon. Standard summer weather pattern as we dip into the 90s now, 92, and then tomorrow 95, and then Sunday looks like it's going to be even warmer still, and we got heat indices in the hundreds, 102, 104, 106, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is what we're going to be dealing with over the course of the next several days. The next real chance of rain happens a week from tomorrow, supposedly. Now, obviously, all of that is open to change and possible to change, so, take it all with a grain of salt, if you would, please. I can tell you this, the insects don't really like being outside in this heat any more than you do. That's why they're trying to get into your house where the air conditioning is. And when you have Mr. Bugs on your side, taking care of the small rodents, taking care of the insects that are trying to get in, taking care of the termite bonding and the mosquito reduction, you need not fear insects any longer. And when I say insects, I also mean arachnids. They get rid of spiders as well, and they are very, very good at what they do. I've used other pest control companies, never been as satisfied as I have been with Mr. Bugs. I know their stuff, and they know their stuff, which is the important thing, and the price is absolutely right. By bundling everything together for me, I get one great low monthly rate, which I love. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com online, or 844-MRBUGGS. Mr. Bugs, they know what bugs you. Let's do it.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, Iran sent a drone over and struck a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was trying to get out of the Strait of Hormuz. They said, well, you didn't check with us. You didn't say, Mother, may I?
We're done with that. I'm not saying Mother, may I.
U.S. scrambled a few jets and said, no one has to ask your permission. This is an international waterway, and it's going to remain that way for the foreseeable future. And Iran said, okay.
You're not charging anybody anything. We're not setting up any tolls.
Nobody is charging nobody for nothing.
Yep.
Knock it off, you. Obviously, negotiations continue, but we're beginning to sense a pattern here where Iran says one thing, does another, and then comes back and, snaps to like they're supposed to, because they're beginning to realize that they don't really have a lot of cards to play here.
I don't have any.
They're pretty much,
they're kind of done.
We're negotiating from a position of strength, and they are not so much. Team USA fell to Turkey in the final seconds last night. Turkey was playing exclusively for pride, by the way. They had literally nothing else going for them as they'd lost their previous 2 matches. And, they were going home no matter how you slice it. So beating the U.S. was pretty much the only thing that they could say. It was like, well, this was the high point of our trip. We, of course, were trying to make sure that we rotated players through because we got the round of 32 coming up next, the knockout round, as it were. Wanted to make sure that they, everybody stayed strong and fresh. But the game was played largely on the U.S. half of the pitch. And that's a problem, when you're on defense most of the time, hard to score. And I saw some pretty shoddy play out of the U.S. They a few ridiculous mistakes, like giving a backwards kick to someone who was supposed to be there, but they were out of position, and consequently, you just handed the ball back to your opponent, and it was messy. It was not a nice match.
And I think some maybe that aren't following it as closely as others is that match last night was not a do or die.
No.
And everybody was losing their mind. Oh my gosh, they're going to lose to Turkey. They're playing on July 1st.
Yeah.
So I think it's Bosnia.
Bosnia-Herzegovina is who they are going to be playing. So it's going to be okay. That match really was more of a scrimmage than anything. And hopefully it helped wake the U.S. team up a little bit and made them realize, gosh, we probably need to play a little bit better. We need to get our act together because that did not go terribly well for them. The Supreme Court is going to issue 4 more major decisions on presidential authority. Birthright citizenship.
That's a big one.
Deportation protections. The president's ability to fire high-level officials. I believe the Supreme Court has already kind of tipped their hand on that one a little bit during the arguments about whether or not Donald Trump could dispose of some of these so-called high-level federal officials that are on boards that are supposed to be autonomous. and the Supreme Court says autonomous. So, like, nobody has control over them? That doesn't sound quite right. Are they part of the executive branch? Oh, they are. But they're autonomous, and nobody has any. These were the questions they were asking, and it's like, yeah, okay, I have a feeling I know where they're going to go with this one.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see if today, sometime after 9 o'clock our time,
Yeah.
we get to see a couple more things that maybe come down. If not, Monday we'll get more of those.
That's it, man. That's
no-
the last day that they are going to be announcing anything. So we'll get to all of this stuff. But yeah, we will certainly also get that birthright citizenship is a big one. And I think they kind of tip their hand on that as well, which is why I say I'm not so sure that they are going to put. I just don't feel like the Supreme Court is interested in being the court that has two major game-changing decisions on their on their chests. I mean, we already got rid of Roe versus Wade. That was massive. That was massive. And I think of this, even though it's still the Roberts Court, because Obergefell, which made gay marriage legal in the United States of America, that also had Antonin Scalia on it. It had Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg. Felt like a different court,
Yeah, it definitely was.
This court doing the overturning of the Roe versus Wade is really big. And if they then say, by the way, 14th Amendment doesn't mean if you're born here, you're automatically an American citizen, that would be another just a massive upheaval. And I don't know if they want that on their record. I know that's a stupid thing to say because you really should be judging just by the Constitution, and we all agree with that. But we also know that there are many cases where they haven't done so. I mean, quite frankly, the fact that any Supreme Court ever found the right to an abortion in the Constitution is something of a joke. If you really look at the Constitution and you look at their reasoning and they say, well, we found it in the penumbra of the right to privacy. And you're like, what? Did you?
Yeah, they really
Did you warm
dug.
up before you stretched like that?
Right.
Because that was crazy.
And that might be the same case with this birthright citizenship. But I think the problem, and the loopholes that have been found in it, if the Supreme Court doesn't rules in a certain way, then maybe we need to look at maybe making a change in that, an addendum to the Constitution that we try to do something with it. Because now it's being used all the time as a way for those to come into our country illegally, like what we saw during the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Think about how many children were born here in the U.S. that came in illegally.
Still being born.
Yes.
Still being born to illegals all the time. And it's just decided that it's deemed that those people are legal citizens now. We'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll know this no later than Monday by, I want to say, 10:30. We'll have an answer on that. At the very least, could happen today. Don't know. Maybe they release all four of these decisions today, and then they just go. There's like, bye, everybody. Good night.
We're done.
They have a pizza party on Monday. We have to have one more day of school. It's the rules. By the way, 2.1% growth in the first quarter, which was better than most anticipated. Last year was actually a pretty good year. Did relatively well, growth-wise. Not a barn burner like we would have liked it to be, but recovering from COVID and all of that, and still working our way back. And 2025 was overall a relatively decent year. Had it not been for a very bad December, we might have seen a 3% growth, but that just wasn't in the cards apparently. 2.1% for the first quarter is a great start to the year. Let's see what happens. Now, I'm a little concerned about the second quarter because of the war.
Yeah, let's get the oil down. Let's get gas prices down. I told you that yesterday. I gassed up $3.24.
Woo!
Yeah, $3.24.
Woo-hoo.
So it's coming down. I mean, give it a little more time.
Yeah, depending on where you are in the state, you can find it for more or less. I saw it today, $3.48. I paid $3.38 the other day when I gassed up. But I know there are places where it's still like in the 370s.
Yeah,
And
I
you
saw
go,
it coming in this morning.
All right. If you're still paying $3.70 something for it, then
You're paying too much.
You're getting gouged, baby. You're getting gouged.
Find it cheaper.
8:15 Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Your thoughts welcome, 545-9950. Mr. P's Grill and Tip coming up in about 15 minutes.
Oh, not L.A. No.
No, thank you.
Be safe and warm in the Keys. How about that?
I'll take that.
Warm, maybe. Safe, probably not.
How about Texas? Can I be safe and warm in Texas?
What are you choosing, Texas?
I like Texas. Nothing wrong with Texas. 819 Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com.
Zipping through this Friday and almost into the weekend. A big show to check out. Danny Knowles and the Knowles Group, Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 3 o'clock. Fantastic information. You'll love these guys. If you don't have a financial plan right now put together, what are you waiting on? When we look at the market and what's going on with the stock market, and you think about your current investments, maybe where they are, or maybe you're just starting out, you're not really sure where to invest. This is why you need somebody like Danny Knowles on your side to take care of these things, because things can be a little bit volatile. And if you just turn things over to Danny, talk with Danny a little bit about this financial plan, he'll set you up for success. There is no doubt about that. Clients just love what he's able to do for them. Right now is a great time to reach out to him and find out more about customizing a plan that's right for you. Because what may be important to you later in life may not be what's important to your next door neighbor. So get in touch with him today and put this to bed. So, you've got a clear financial plan and a roadmap of where you're going. That's what it's all about, and he knows how to put this all together. TheKnowlesGroup.com is the website, and Knowles is spelled N-O-L-E-S. Reach out to him today, TheKnowlesGroup.com.
All right, we're going to do a little a video later about our wings foray yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this every Thursday, and yesterday we decided to go to 2 different places because we had to make up for missing one the previous week.
Yeah, because you were sick.
My food
You were out,
poisoning,
you were sick.
My little food poisoning case. I'm not trying to trivialize my little food poisoning case. So we decided to go to 2 places that were on the same street in downtown Birmingham. They were on 4th Avenue North.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an interesting experience. I haven't been in that section of town in quite some time.
Yeah, on foot.
Right there by the Carver
Yep.
Theater. Yeah. And, parked and hoofed it. The first place we went to was called Green Acres. It was formerly the Silver Slipper, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Started in like 1901 as the Silver Slipper, and then in 38 it became Green Acres.
They got a black and white photo
Mm-hmm.
framed up on the wall, so you can kind of see what it used to look like.
Classic cars in front of it. Of course, they weren't classic at the time. They were new
But
cars.
now
when
they
the photo
are.
was taken. Yes.
When you see them, you're like, wow.
See and it might be the same picture, but the cable wires overhead for the cable cars
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Had signed autographed pictures of Barack Obama and Martha Reeves of the Vandellas.
Yeah.
Some people who'd been
Some of
there
the
before.
previous
Great.
mayors of the city.
Yep.
Yeah.
William Bell was in there. And interestingly, we were second in line, showed up early. They opened at 10:30, right? And we got there just around 11, and we're second in line. And we then watched a crowd develop at this place like you have not seen since Pete's Famous Hot Dogs.
I was like, wow, they're going to have to open up the door here in a minute.
Yep. And it's about the same size as Pete's Famous, by the way.
Yeah.
That's true. It's not a
Yep.
big place.
No, very small place with no tables, no chairs, just kind of a little counter that you could eat at if you wanted to, and we did. But I loved the lady behind the counter.
She was great. She was really priceless. I'd like to go back and chat with her another day.
We
when
were
she's
the
not so
only
busy.
we were the only 3 white people in the place, just to be clear. We were the only white people at all in the place.
Well, when we stood up there, yes. But the funny thing was when we started to get, you were starting to order, and there were a couple of people that were in line that were starting to say, oh, yeah, make sure you get that, make sure you do this.
Yeah, they were kind of guiding us through it.
Right.
There were a couple of white people in that line, too.
They knew because they'd been there, because these people obviously love this place and have been there repeatedly. But they sell what we call a whole wing, okay? Normally you get either a drum or a flat, but these people sold the whole wing, which is the drum and the flat and the tip.
Together.
The tip is useless. You can just rip that off and throw it away. But, and so I was like, well, we really only need 3 of those, because I figure, we'll each get 1 drum and 1 flat, and that'll be.
You only got the one flavor.
And she
That was
like,
priceless.
baby, that ain't enough food for you.
That's what she told
You ain't
Richard.
gonna make it. You need
I
more
mean,
food than that.
And again, she said that wasn't enough food just for Richard.
Right.
Okay, so she's looking at you going, that's not going to be enough food for
Ain't
you.
gonna be
too
enough
skinny,
food
man.
for you. You
Yeah.
gotta have. So we ordered 6. wings so that we could each have 2, but we didn't really need 2. We just needed to sample it.
Mhm.
And they only had one flavor, as Steve pointed out. You could get them either with salt and pepper or with hot sauce.
Uh-huh.
And their hot sauce is basically Texas Pete's just dumped on top of the wings, okay? And not even like coated thoroughly, just kind of like it was
It's
spotty.
dabbed on there,
Yeah,
right?
it was spotty. And this is clearly their technique. This is what they serve, the way they've served it, and they've served it this way forever. And people love it. I mean, they were lined up out the door. It was amazing. And the hot sauce gets on your bread. It gets on your fries. It's everywhere. You know, once it's there,
Well, and
it's in there.
the price list, there was a girl that had just ordered and her order came out and we were discussing it and she takes it out of it comes in a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
She pulls the little cardboard container and she pulls it out so I could see it.
Right.
She's like, this is what it looks like. And she's like, you need to get the hot sauce.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, that looks really good.
Paper
And
boat.
she shoved it back in the brown bag and out the door she went with her food.
That's what we got too. We
Yeah.
have the paper bag with the paper boat and the mound of fries, 6 wings, full wings, and 2 pieces of white bread. Very Dreamland barbecue-y, you know? And so we each, took our sample. We're not going to get into that. You'll get the ranking at the end of the summer when it's all over. I felt bad for Steve because he doesn't like hot stuff, but it
Yeah,
wasn't
but-
that bad, was it? It wasn't.
It
was
was
too,
no.
you know.
Well, it was
I
funny.
think you and I talked about it. It was like if this had been coated like what we're so used to when it comes to wings in
Ooh.
places that we generally
We-
go,
you
that
and
would
I
have built
couldn't
up
eat that.
real
Yeah,
fast.
that would have been too hot.
Might have been bad.
And it was funny because when we got in there, there's a board above, where they were taking the orders, and there were very few things on there.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, when you're going in there, you're going in there for one thing.
fairly simple.
Yeah,
fairly
it is
straightforward.
very simple.
So then I grabbed the leftovers. I was going to take them in my car. Instead, I handed them to a young gentleman around the corner who was hungry. And
It was very nice of you,
he'd asked me
Richard.
for some change on the
Yeah,
way in, and I was
yeah.
like, how about some wings? And he took them gladly. And then we hoofed it 4 blocks down. I thought it was going to be 3. I forgot how long city blocks are in Birmingham. 4 long city blocks.
It was uphill too, Richard.
It was uphill.
If you didn't know that there are hills in downtown
Both ways.
Birmingham.
It was uphill both ways.
At least it wasn't in the snow.
We hoofed it down to Yo Mama's.
Uh-huh.
Where,
And they had
yeah.
lots of seating.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was tables galore in there.
Yeah.
I really honestly wish I knew what had been there before they moved in.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious, too, because I feel like that was a very freshly renovated place.
It did look like it.
That looks like it may have been nothing before they moved in, and then they put a restaurant in there, because it was definitely in one of your older buildings downtown, which I love. I love the fact that we have those older buildings downtown and the fact that we haven't torn them all down and replaced them with brass and glass, and it's a lot of cities that do that. I'm still just, I will never not be peeved about tearing down the train station, which was one of the
gosh.
most beautiful pieces
It
of
really
architecture.
was.
And at some point they were like, "Nope, no, this is old. It's old hat. We got to get rid of it." And you see
Should have.
pictures of
That's
it.
one thing they really, really should have left in Birmingham.
Man,
It's so disappointing.
you see these pictures of it now, and you just go, "What we could have had." Anyway, they only had 2 styles of wings. They had
Hot. hot.
fried and hot sauce.
Uh-huh.
Again, those are your 2 options. Okay. And again, when we first got there, we were the only 3 white people in the place. Now, some more white people did show up a little bit later.
Richard's
but
really
it's-
on this.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to me because it's a cultural thing,
Yeah.
When we go to where we're ragtime,
Right.
they're like, we've got 17 different flavors of wings.
Mm-hmm.
You go to one of these places that is, largely frequented by African Americans, and it's like,
No, we
what do you
have
mean
2.
17? No, there's 2 flavors, with or without. Those are your choices.
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, okay, I got it. I get it. That's cool. And again, they were breaded and fried, which is another kind of a cultural thing. That's sort of weird. I mean, I'm not used to breaded and fried wings. But the sauce was, that sauce was something else.
It's pretty good.
I really liked
Yeah,
that
that
sauce.
one was totally dunked.
It was completely,
yeah,
yeah.
that was a dunker.
They did something. The more I thought about this, the more I thought, I wonder how they did that, because they managed to coat the entire wing, but you notice that the container that they served them to us in,
wasn't
they weren't
wasn't
swimming.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you you just take one of the drumsticks and dip it down in something and then let it
Yeah.
drip off and then put it on there.
That's it.
That's what it seems like. A lot of places will just drizzle it over the top.
Right.
I mean, really coat it and then
Right.
it's all in the basket.
No, they drained these things before they put them in. And they're very tasty. Again, we're not going to give you too much info. We got one of each. Got the fried and then the hot sauce ones. And fries with one. And they said, well, what do you want with the other one? Do you want for a side? Do you want fries or do you want, well, what else do you have? One rattled off a list of sides so quickly.
Yeah.
It was like sweet potato salad. We've got green beans, okra. I mean, it's just dig. I was like, I heard mashed potatoes in there somewhere. Did you hear mashed potatoes?
We'll try those.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I think they
I
may
like
have,
the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I think they just grew the potatoes in back and
they
then mashed
did.
them right before they gave
And
them to
didn't
us.
thoroughly mash them, and I kind of
No.
like the chunks
The
of
little chunky
potatoes
bits
in
of
there.
potato.
Yeah, that's good.
Pretty good. Yo mamas. Okay. I'll go back. I wouldn't mind. If I'm down that neck of the woods, I'll go there. 8:30 Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. You'll get all of the answers on where these wings ranked at the end of the summer when we finish our Summer of Wings tour. Stick around. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. I had this album when it came out. Twilight Zone, Twilight Tone by the Manhattan Transfer. I was a weird kid.
Yeah.
Not a lot of high schoolers had this
like,
one.
Did you tell people you had it?
Yeah? Look, man, I was shameless. As Spud likes to say, I'm the leading authority in things I like.
Right.
Yeah.
You are.
I'll tell you what I like.
That's right.
I'm not shy about it.
And it's none of your business.
All right. I used to be a little shy about it, but less so now. 8:36 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk 995.com. Let's talk about Mr. P's Butcher Shop and Deli, 813 Shades Crest Road in beautiful Bluff Park. This is the Mr. P's June monthly meat special. 2 12-ounce New York strip steaks, yum. A 3-pound boneless eye of round roast. A 6-pound bone-in Boston butt. 1 pound of Mr. P's deluxe chicken fingers. 1 pound of traditional jumbo party buffalo wings. 2 1-pound packs of Mr. P's ground steak. 2 packs, 2 each, 6-ounce boneless, skinless chicken breasts, same with the boneless center-cut pork chops, and a 12-ounce bottle of Pilatary's white barbecue sauce, all for $149.99. Now, that's a deal, $149.99. My goodness, that's a lot of meat, and you'll have it to work with for the whole week or month. Instead of going shopping, you just have to visit your freezer, and you'll know what's for dinner tonight. Mr. P's Butcher Shop and Deli. They are a full butcher shop. They are a full deli, and they're serving sandwiches until 4 o'clock in-house, 6 o'clock to go. They do have the best steaks in Birmingham. All right, since we've been talking about wings lately, and it's going to be 1,000 degrees this weekend, let's talk about how you can make wings inside without hurting yourself. You get yourself 2 to 3 pounds of chicken wings. You can get the, jumbo party wings from Mr. P's. I would say you should thaw these before you do this. Otherwise, you end up with way too much liquid. I also just like to buy, regular, actual wings. I'll get them sometimes at Sam's Club or, at my local supermarket. They come in a package. I think Sam's Club is about 20 full wings, and when you chop them up, you take the tip off, throw it away. You find that spot between the flat and the drum, and you cut it in there. You end up with about 40 wings, which is a lot. It's a lot of wings. But for this, depending on what it is you're doing with these wings, maybe you're going to have them over 4th of July weekend. I don't know. What you want to do is simply throw them into your crock pot. Now, you should absolutely put some cooking spray in there, or if you want to put a little oil on a paper towel and kind of wipe the sides, it'll make it a whole lot easier to clean later. I actually discovered something not too long ago that was a crock pot bag. Like you could put a bag inside the crock pot. Mm-hmm. It's only 4 in a box. I'm like, you guys need to start making these bigger boxes because they're fantastic. But you put that in there, and then you pile everything you want in there, and when it's all done, all you have to do is remove the bag. The crock pot remains completely spotless. It's wonderful. And it's plastic, and you go, why isn't this melting? Wait, I don't mind. I don't care. As long as it doesn't mess up the inside of my crock pot. That's all I really
we've
care
got enough plastics in our body already, so go ahead.
You may as well.
Might as well.
What difference is it going to make at this point?
Pile it on.
That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you throw your chicken wings in, 2 to 3 pounds of chicken wings. And then you want to put in about 1.5 cups of your favorite sauce. I would use Pilatary's Dream Wing Sauce. You want to stir it around, make sure that everything is mixed up thoroughly. But you can use barbecue sauce. If you have teriyaki, you want to use teriyaki sauce, you can do that, whatever flavor. If you want a kind of sticky sweet wing like the ones we had at Yo Mama's yesterday, you can throw in some brown sugar, about 1/4 cup of brown sugar as well. And make sure it all gets mixed up properly in there. Put the top on. 2 to 3 hours on high. I'm more of a fan of low. 4 to 5 hours on low is better. Now, you really want to check these things after about 3.5, 4 hours, because there is the danger, depending on your crock pot, of you opening that thing up and finding a bunch of meat and a bunch of bones, and they're not connected at all.
Oh, no.
Sometimes the wings get so done that they just fall apart.
Yeah.
So, like I said, about 3 hours in, 3.5 hours, you want to take a look and see where you stand, and then you're going to go through the crisping. The crisping process is where you turn on the broiler and you get your baking sheet, cover it with tin foil, spray that with cooking spray too, because you want everything to come off cleanly. You set those wings out on them and brush a little more of that sauce on top, whatever the sauce is you're using. Brush a little bit more on there. Put it on the broiler 2-3 minutes aside. Flip them and make sure that you get crispy all over, and then pull them out, and they'll be delicious. And there was very little effort involved. They were easy. They were delicious. Nobody has to know that you used the crock pot. Everyone just says, boy, those were the best wings I ever had. And you say, I know. Richard Dixon taught it to me. That's your Mr. P's.
That's good to know again, because so many times when it gets this hot and we talk about triple digits, you're like, I don't want to be on the grill outside.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily want to heat up your house, and a crock pot doesn't do that. It just sits over there in the corner minding its own business.
Yeah.
The worst thing about this is when you crank up the broiler to crisp up the skin, but it's only for 10 minutes tops, and you can turn everything off. It'll be great. Best steaks in Birmingham are found right there at Mr. P's Butcher Shop and Deli, 813 Shades Crest Road in beautiful Bluff Park. They are serving sandwiches until 4 o'clock this afternoon, and their sandwiches to go until 6. Don't forget they are closed Sunday and Monday, so take advantage. They'll be closed on the 4th of July as well, by the way. There you go. There's your Mr. P's Grill and Tip for today. Now we got what we call the Flotsam and Jetsam, all the little bits and pieces of stories that we did not get around to throughout the course of the show. And we can handle these between now and, say, 9 o'clock or between now and 10 o'clock, as it were. Because it seems as though we leave a lot on the table every day, right?
Some days there's so much to get to. It's like, okay, maybe we'll save that for another day.
Well, Valerie was asking yesterday about Sean Hannity's face.
It was actually Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday?
Because I had caught him, I think it was Monday night and Tuesday. And I've noticed both nights that something was very different about Sean Hannity.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I mentioned it to you and Steve Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah. He is a kind of puffy face, gruff voice, and I suggested that it was maybe steroids because that does that to people. And sure enough, he apparently injured himself in some way and consequently was put on prednisone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the way, it was a pinched nerve.
I think he's doing like jujitsu and some other stuff.
Yeah,
he's doing some training.
Yeah. And so, the doctor put him on prednisone to reduce the inflammation. And while it's helping, it led to laryngitis and some puffiness, which is normal for that medication. When I was taking that prednisone, because I had that sinus thing that I couldn't shake. They tried the bacterial, and then it was viral infection, and they just kept, throwing pills at me. And they'd give me an injection, and then and here's a Z-Pack, and you're going to be eventually. But I remember taking those and looking at myself in the mirror and going, oh, my God, here it goes. Here we go. I can feel it. It's coming. I felt puffy every single day. I couldn't sleep, of course. Prednisone does that to you. And all I wanted to do was eat. Just wanted to eat nonstop. And it's like, got to stop yourself from doing that, man. So anyway, once he gets off of this, by the way, he will almost immediately snap back to normal.
Yeah, but it was really evident. And I thought, some people were guessing, hey, did he have some Botox in his cheeks or, something happened? Has he gained a whole lot of weight really quick? But it was very, very obvious earlier this week. And I don't know if you all saw it. Maybe I didn't see anything last night because I was watching soccer and doing some other stuff. But it was to the point where people were really speculating, is something wrong with him? Because he went from looking one way and then immediately it was like, oh my gosh, what happened? It was very obvious. But it's good to know that's what it is, and he'll be fine, hopefully, and everything will, once he comes off that medicine, go back to normal.
Yeah, boy. Nothing but love for Sean Hannity. He's a fascinating cat. He's always, every time he's ever come to town, he's always remembered my name, which I find fascinating. He doesn't have a little guy, walking around behind him going, yeah, this is Richard Dixon. He works at, he just walks right up to me and says, hey, Richard, how are you doing? Good to see you again. I'm like, wow. Does he know the name of everybody at every radio station that he's ever been on? That would be pretty impressive, if so.
He might have an ironclad
memory. photographic memory. I have one too, but mine's still developing. Dad joke. Vice President J.D. Vance's appearance on the June 16th episode of The View drew 3.331 million viewers, making it the most watched telecast since their post-Election Day episode in 2024, which everybody, by the way, tuned into just to see what those shrews were going to say about it.
Losing their ever-loving minds.
There's part of this where you're like, I'm glad he went on The View. And then there's another part you're like, well, I really hate the ratings were so good.
Yeah.
But
stop helping them.
Yeah.
Well, it may have had much more to do with the guests than anything else because, hey, they wanted to see him take them on.
Yeah.
That's that situation.
Exactly. View averaged 2.942 million viewers for the week, up 22% from the prior week. In other words, they don't usually do that well.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news.
And
I
now
guess,
maybe
huh?
they'll look at this and say, maybe we need to have,
So,
more Republicans on or more conservatives on. Might help their ratings. I doubt it. I
Or
think
maybe
eventually.
you need to, I don't know, have a better panel that's not so
that's
stupid.
crazy talk. Why would you think such a thing? That's insanity. They would never do that. 8:46 with Dixon and Vining. I'll tell you what, Debbie Schlissel gave us a call earlier today, and we talked to her about what's at the movies. We'll bring that back around again next. Stick around. 8:50. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Going to be a hot one this weekend. We're talking about highs in the 90s, heat indices into the 100s. Doesn't that sound like a good time to sit in a refrigerated, air-conditioned movie theater?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's why we chatted with Debbie Schlissel earlier today to find out what was going on at the movies. Began by asking her how she is on this fine Friday.
Doing great. Good morning. It looks like you're sending your weather our way because we're supposed to have in the 90s and high humidity next week also.
Ooh,
Enjoy.
it's rough.
Enjoy.
I know it is rough. So at the movie theaters, I'll start with the biggest one, which is Supergirl. I did not care for this. First of all, Supergirl is a partier. She's a drunk. She's a mess. I didn't think that was great for girls that are going to go see this. It's not really a superhero movie so much as a science fiction movie with the superhero thrown in. There are so many Star Wars bar scene ripoffs where she goes to bars and restaurants and places where there are all kinds of different aliens, and there's a songstress that's an alien and all of that. It was ripped off straight from Star Wars. The story is kind of lackluster. Basically, there's this Asian girl on this distant planet. These evil people called the Brigands come and kill her parents, the main guy, Krem. She wants to kill him. She enlists Supergirl and learns that Supergirl has powers. She didn't even know she was Supergirl. She was just some random girl whose house she came into when Supergirl was hungover and asleep. And they chase the evil people and try and kill them. But Supergirl doesn't want her to kill the guy. And then there's a guy that's kind of like a dark friend played by Jason Momoa, who rides a motorcycle and is very strong and has some kinds of powers. And I didn't care for this. When he leaves Supergirl and goes away, he says, "See ya," and it rhymes with the word bits. And it's a body part of women. So I didn't care for that in a superhero movie, especially one that kids are going to go see. But it was just a very, very dark movie. There's no uplift in it to me. I mean, yes, there's payoff in the end, but it just wasn't worth it. It was a long slog, even though it's less than an hour. It's less than 2 hours. It's about an hour and a half, a little bit more. It was just okay for me. It wasn't that great. So it's a thumbs down for me. I in the terms of superhero movies, I didn't like this. Also, David Corenswet as Superman has a few brief cameos in the movie. Then also at the theaters is a movie that they sent me a screener for, and I kept falling asleep, and it was such a bore. It's called Couture. It stars and is produced by Angelina Jolie, and of course, one of the few children left that has not dropped the Pitt name. Maddox Jolie Pitt is also on the staff and production team of this movie. I wonder how he got the job. I'm sure it was merit. This was a long, slow, boring, pointless movie I would skip at all costs. Couture. Basically, it's about this movie director who's struggling with economics, and she gets this job to shoot this fashion show in Paris and do an introductory movie at the fashion show. And then there's this model from Africa that's new. And then there's also this up-and-coming designer. And there's supposed to be an ensemble cast, but you never really know what's going on with any of them. Nothing really happens. It's slow and boring. Angelina Jolie's character finds out she has breast cancer and she has to leave France to get an operation. All the doctors tell her. This main French doctor tells her. Then she tells her cameraman, "Let's have sex." The end. That's the movie.
Wow.
So it was awful. I don't know why anyone would pay to go see this. And it's dark and depressing and a bore. All right, and then there is this movie called Lucky Strike. This was the best movie of the week. So this is starring Scott Eastwood. He also produces this. It's mostly at AMC theaters. A few others have it. It's during World War II. And Scott Eastwood plays this commanding officer who could have deferred and gotten out of serving, but he serves. He's the head of this platoon whose job is to blow up the road to stop the Nazis from constantly attacking our troops. And a lot of bad stuff happens, but miraculously he gets through. I thought it was very well done. It's a little slow at points, but it was an enjoyable movie. It was scary. It was suspenseful. It was patriotic. And I thought it was well done. I thought he did very well as an actor in this movie. So that is Lucky Strike. And yes, Lucky Strike cigarettes do have a role in this movie, and you'll see what it is. And then there is, and I hate Nazis, so any movie where Nazis are killed is good for me. And any movie that shows Nazis as the bad guys, which, I don't know, somehow politics is saying Nazis aren't the bad guys, which is insane. But any movie that shows them as the bad guys is good for me. There is also the new Jackass movie. You will forgive me that I did not go to the screening, and I also did not go to see it on my own. The last time I tried to do that with one of the previous two Jackass movies, I just couldn't sit through more than like 15 minutes. It was very bad, and so I didn't want to repeat the experience. So I would not go see that. And those are the new movies at the theaters this weekend.
Wow.
So not slim pickings, but like I said, Lucky Strike, it's very good.
You know, the more I see Scott Eastwood, the more I like him. I have seen him in a number of movies, usually in smaller roles. He played the main bad guy in Wrath of Man, and he was just wonderful in that movie as a very bad guy. But you know, I mean, he was in a Nicholas Spark romantic, not necessarily a comedy, but he played a bull rider in one of those old Nicholas Sparks, romance movies. He did a great job there. He's really coming into his own, and I think it's because, as you pointed out, with the nepotism with one of the Pitt kids, I don't think his dad helped him much. I mean, I know for a fact that he tried out. He wanted to be American Sniper. He auditioned for the role, and it went to Bradley Cooper, and his dad was the director. Boy, that has to have been painful that you went and auditioned.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to be American Sniper. Sorry, we got Bradley Cooper, kid.
Thanks for the help, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Clint is not giving him the leg up that he would have hoped for, but that is making him earn it, which is, I think making him a better actor, producer, director, all of that good stuff as time goes by.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's very good in this, and I noticed he has so many of his dad's facial mannerisms,
He
like
does.
a lot of his dad's expressions. I kept saying, I saw Clint Eastwood do that in Play Misty for me, or I saw Clint Eastwood do that in Dirty Hair. It was really uncanny, but I forgot he was Scott Eastwood actually, and he really fell into this role perfectly. I thought he did well.
Excellent. I'm with you on the Jackass movies, by the way. I find them to be completely unwatchable. I've seen about, I don't know, 2 minutes
Yeah,
of one.
I
was
just saw
like,
the trailer of it,
nope.
and it's like, no,
It's a
it's
fact.
terrible.
Just vote no.
Yeah, that's about all
No.
I've ever seen of the
Yeah.
Jackass movies is the trailers. They
Trailers.
just don't interest me at all.
No,
Yeah.
no. Hey, watch us do stupid things and hurt ourselves. No, thank you. I can watch the news later. It'll be fun.
Exactly.
Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate you going to see these movies so we don't have to. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. And we can't do it next Friday because it's July 3rd.
And we'll be off.
And we'll be off. So have a great 4th of July weekend as well.
Thank you, you too. Happy 250th, America.
Right back at you, Debbie. Take care. Debbie Schlissel, DebbieDoesMovies.com, DebbieDoesPolitics.com. Both of those are available on the World Wide Web. Yeah, boy. All righty. 250 years. America.
How about that?
America.
You've been watching a little bit about what's going on in D.C. with the fair?
Yeah, I'm
Kinda
excited
cool.
about it, man. I
Yeah.
kind of wish I could get there, but I don't see that happening this year. So, oh well. Finally, Washington D.C. is safe enough to walk around, and I can't
Isn't that
go.
nice?
Yeah,
I'd like to go see the reflecting pool
the fence.
and the
You know,
fence.
did you hear they found like fence posts in there, like the vandals that had done the damage not only cut the liner but also threw a bunch of fence posts into it, not from the current fence but from some other fence somewhere. You're like, guys, what is wrong with you? What is going on in your
Let's
heads?
take care
Or you
of
could say thank you very much for helping us build the fence.
Good.
9 o'clock, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5.